This is a hammer eye punch. So this punch, driven into the material, pushing it either side, means that we can get a hole in there with an extremely small amount of material loss. You're going to see in a second, we punch out this little plug. But the thing is, that, down in the depths of that hot material, this heats up and it can deform if it's hot. So we're cooling it down in beeswax, which smells really nice. You have a smell of that? Nice. Don't you love the smell of beeswax? Awesome. And there's actually also some graphite in the beeswax to help lubricate it. I mean, as we drive it down, it's not getting stuck, and we can take it out, keep the tool cool, be able to get a good hole in the material. So there we go. You can see that the plug has some air around it. This is the beauty of forging. We're pushing most of the material to the sides. We get very minimal material loss. One more blow should release it. That is all we lose in making that hole the whole way through. That tiny little piece of material called a plug. Right. So, what we can do is we're going to take a puller and start pulling those cheeks out, nice and hard. Right, you ready? Yep. Nice and hard. Starting to get our angle of the whole axe blade in there, right? Yep. That's also pinching that eye up very nicely. Got that little bulge there that we're going to break down by coming right in here. Nice hard again. I think we're going to come in this side here with our axe drift. Come in like that, start opening up that hole in the desired cross-section. Yep. Actually, no, it's a little twisted. And so because it's a little twisted, we're going to start in the top side. That'll guide us down a little easier. Okay, we're going to start this way. And again. Still over there. Mike has done a great job swinging the sledgehammer. No, he just spat at the camera. Mike has done a great job swinging the sledgehammer.
Why, thank you.
He's done a great job. It's a lot of fun too,
It's
right?
great. Oh, it's so satisfying.
Yeah.
So satisfying.
Now, there aren't a lot of occasions in life where you get to take a sledge and just let
smash
loose.
metal, yeah.
It's good. It's good. So right now we've got the forge turned down low because after forging we put a lot of stresses into it. And the stresses are unequal along the whole thing. In addition to that, the grain structure of the material is very large. And with those large crystals, you end up with a much weaker steel. So what we do is we normalize the stresses, shrink down the grain size so that when it comes to hardening it, we get a strong edge that's going to hold its edge and be hopefully a little less likely to break. So it's in the forge at a much lower temperature. You see the yellow licks of flame. Of course, you have a yellow flame when it is a carburizing flame as opposed to an oxidizing flame or a neutral flame. If we let in more air, we get a hotter flame because of the extra oxygen. But as we close that off, we drop the temperature of the forge. And that means that we don't overheat the piece, and we can begin our cycles of heating it, letting it cool in air a number of times, and that's our normalizing cycles.
Welcome to TA Outdoors. Hope you enjoyed that. Start again. Welcome to TA Outdoors. Are you done? Done?
Yeah, this one's scrap.
Yeah, okay, good stuff. That's Alec Steele, by the way. You might want to go check out his YouTube channel, link in the description below. Today, we've been forging together a hatchet, working on a small kind of camp hatchet. This is where we got to so far. 1055 steel, and it is kind of got that Grandsfors Brooks shape to it, which is sort of what I wanted, that traditional kind of Scandinavian look to it. I'm looking forward to this project. This is going to be really good, really enjoyable.
I did make a mistake there. So when you forge steel, naturally, the high temperatures. I'm done being a goon by now. I'm done being an idiot now.
Yeah. We can be normal now.
The high temperatures mean that it oxidizes at a very fast rate. It rusts, and when things rust, material flakes off. When things oxidize when you're blacksmithing, material flakes off as scale, iron oxide, so you lose material mass that way. We wanted 1.5 pounds. I cut off 2.2 pounds. We ended off
with a fairly small head to it.
We ended up at 1.3 pounds.
Yeah.
We lost a lot of material. I mean, the reason for it is obviously it took us a long time to forge it.
But it's like fun. It's usable, It's something that I've already got axes that are a lot bigger. I've got hatchets that are a lot bigger. So for me, it's nice to have something that's much more smaller pack size to get in the backpack. And at the end of the day, a hatchet is not for chopping down trees. It is for those smaller tasks like kindling and things like that, splitting smaller pieces. Yeah, cutting off fingers. So that's where we've got to so far. This is day one. I took a while to get here. I took about 4 hours to get here, the good old M25. But day 2 tomorrow, we're going to do the handle, aren't we? So
we are indeed. Well, I need some grinding. I need some final heat treating so that you'll hold its edge and what have you. But I think we're going to make some good progress, and it's going to look beautiful when it's done.
Pretty pleased with it.
So we're going to start with a 36 grit. This will allow us to hog off a lot of material. It's also a great way to lose some finger skin. So try not to touch it when it's spinning.
So we've just come out the grinding room. We have put on the bevel.
So now we are going to harden it so that we get an edge that's going to be strong, keep its shape, but it's also going to make it rather brittle. So once we do harden this, we're going to temper it to bring back some toughness into the material. what happens is if it's too hot,
Yeah.
that oil is vaporizing, and it's the vapors that'll catch fire.
Like petrol. Like
Yeah,
vapor.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's, you know, getting the oil lit is
Yeah.
more difficult than the vapors.
So what does that do?
So the file is obviously very hard.
Sure.
And the whole point of a file is you have a hard file to cut soft or normal steel.
Yep.
If that hard file isn't making a cut, it means that this is the same kind of hardness.
Sure.
Because the file can't touch it. So if that just slips off like that
Yeah.
and doesn't bite, it means that the steel is hard,
Yeah.
which means that it's going to be able to be tempered back so that we make it less brittle. We
Yeah.
can temper it back, get it to the perfect level of hardness. The balance between hardness and toughness is in a nice place for the particular tool and for the geometry of the tool. So we're now going to temper this. We're going to temper it from the eye out using the drift that we used to form that. The drift is hot. We're going to put it in. That heat's going to conduct out. It's going to temper both our hardened pole that you'll be able to use as a hammer. It's also going to temper that edge. Hopefully we can control that to get a nice deep straw color here at the edge so it's not liable to break. Instead, worst comes to worst, you know, you bend an edge as opposed to chip an edge. So as this is heating up, it's likely not going to heat up evenly, so we're going to use a little spray bottle to control it. We can use the spray bottle to cool off certain areas just so that we control our temper. We don't want to temper it too much because then it's going to mean it's too soft and doesn't hold the edge. It's all about the equilibrium between the toughness. So the drift has conducted the heat through, and if you have a look up on top where it was ground, we give it a little buff. You see we have that light blue right here that goes into a purple, into a dark straw on the faces, goes into a dark straw, to a light straw here at the edge. And the nice thing is that we got a nice consistent temper color the whole way across the edge. There's nowhere that it's overheated, and we can just let that sit. Some more of that heat's gonna conduct out, get that edge to be able to stay at that temperature at a sustained manner for just a little while as the last little bits of the heat of the drift come through. This is a board of ash. It's 2 1/4 inches thick. It's got a beautiful grain to it. You know, it's often very difficult when you're buying material in plank form for a handle to get the right bit. What you need is, you ideally want that grain that was going lengthwise. And I didn't get this right way back when. You know, I didn't really think that it mattered too much, and slowly my opinion on that evolved. You know, as this is sawn out of the tree, you only get a certain amount of it that has that straight grain that's going to work well.
Sure.
So it means there's a lot of wastage when you make handles. But that's fine, because it's about what makes a good handle. And, you know, speaking of which, this is ash, obviously, as I said. That is hickory, though.
Yeah, most of the ones I have actually are hickory.
Absolutely, and without a doubt, in my view, certainly. But I mean, I've never remade a bunch of axes or anything like that. My experience is with hammers. If I could get hickory, that was without a doubt, my favorite option. It's harder, so it means that, you know, say if you take that handle, you know, we could take this little scriber here and, you know, we just feel how it pokes in. It feels much spongier in the ash than it does in the hickory. You can listen to the noise. The pitch alone tells you a lot about the properties of the material itself. Ash is still a great handle material. And what ash will be giving you is going to be giving you a little extra whip in your handle. It's going to be giving you a little extra spring. You know, it can feel a little easier in the hand than a hickory handle will, where you're going to get a slightly sharper reverberation. But really, you know, it's a taste thing. Certainly with hammer handles, I prefer the hickory. We've got ash for this hatchet handle. I think it'll work just fine. You know, you get the benefit of the whippiness.
Well, and it's a smaller axe head, isn't it? So,
absolutely.
the actual head to
absolutely.
it. So
we should be just fine with that. we need to rip this up. I need to change the blade on the bandsaw and all that. We need to rip this up and get this squared away for us to build a handle from it.
How often do you have to change this, the blade?
More than I'd like. The handle materials for a lot of the knives that I make are really terrible for the bandsaw blades, and they tear them up, they wear them out really, really fast, especially G10. G10 is like this plastic.
They use that on the survival knives a lot.
Yeah. But the thing is that it's not really a plastic. It's like a resin and fiber composite. So it's almost like fiberglass.
Yeah.
But it's obviously slightly different, and it's has a proprietary name, G10 and stuff like that. But obviously, because it's got that glass fiber in it, it just destroys a blade.
Yeah.
As soon as
this blade nearly destroyed you.
Yeah, I nearly got destroyed by the blade. I tell you, it would have still been sharp enough to do some damage to me. It eats a blade as soon as you touch the blade to it.
So Alec has just polished up the head of the hatchet, and it's looking very, very good now. It's looking pretty sharp as well. I've done a test for Alec's video already on my arm. As you can see, there's pretty much no hair left. But if I show you guys quickly, there's a little bit. Let's come down here a bit, just to show you how sharp this is right now, because it really is hair-shavingly sharp. And there's now another patch on my arm that's not got anything left. And now we're going to get on to doing the handle.
Perfect.
Run out?
Yeah, and I don't know when.
You don't know when?
Right, I need new batteries.
So we've now got to the stage where we've handled the axe, or the hatchet, sorry. Here it is, sitting in the vise. It's all pretty much done. I've now sanded it down as well. But I said to Alec, I wanted to get it similar, the handle, to his hammer here, because every time I come here, I always admire this hammer of yours. And you were telling me you burnt it in by the blowtorch, really.
Absolutely, use the blowtorch, because the trouble is they're trying to just finish the outside of the wood, but what we're not trying to do is actually cook the thing.
And damage the wood, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So the blowtorch is so hot that we just quickly, I mean, it takes like 5 seconds, quickly burn the surface.
Awesome.
Then we can oil it, and it ends up this really nice, tough, beautiful, soft satin finish as you use it. Get some beautiful color in it. This one's hickory, but it ends up pretty similar with the ash.
Well guys, thanks so much for watching. This is the end product. If you can see that in the light, it's looking fantastic, as Alec would say.
As I would say.
It's awesome. It's got the sort of forged look there, and we've obviously burnt in the handle there as well. And this is smaller than my small hatchet I use, which Alec is now getting. As you can see, it's a little bit smaller, not by too much, but it means it's much easier to fit in the backpack or slide down the slot of a side pouch on the backpack. It's just a little bit more... It's just a little bit more convenient. It's just a little bit more compact and easier to take with you on those long distance backpacking trips. Thanks so much for having me here in the workshop.
It's been an incredible pleasure. Thank you for coming, Mike. Thank you for bringing along all your wonderful fans and viewers.
It's been an adventure, another adventure. I have made a knife with Alec as well. If you want to check that out, there's a link in the video description below or somewhere up here in the corner. Don't forget, head on over to Alec's channel if you enjoyed this type of blacksmithing stuff. He's putting out like 5 videos a week at the moment of awesome projects, swords, knives, almost everything you can think of.
Lots of sparks, lots of craftsmanship, lots of fun, lots of failure too.
Exactly.
We fail a lot on this channel, well, my channel.
And you will learn something. You will definitely learn something. So please head on over to Alec's channel, say hi from me, go and subscribe. And also, if you're not on Instagram, follow Alec on Instagram at Alec Steele, and also follow me on Instagram at TA Outdoor Official. And I will see you guys in the next video.